Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. You already know what to do. Click that like button. Let's keep the likes up. If you're new, come and join us by hitting that subscribe and all. Make sure that all button is dingling dark blue, okay? So there was a lot. The Fed spoke today, right? The president spoke today. The geopolitical situation is worsening. The U.S.-Iran war is worsening, and the truth be told, Zelensky and Putin are not getting along either. Of course, you know that war has been going on, and it really doesn't look like it's getting any better as the president is out of the country. We'll go and cover some of that. Let's first talk about what happened in the stock market. Then we're going to discuss ticker symbol SOXL, triple leverage. This is probably going to be one of the last times I talk about it for a while. And we'll talk about the overall semiconductor slash AI trade. Okay, so let's go right into it. We can see that the NASDAQ literally inched out a win right at closing bell, right at the end. Look at that. Then it literally just ran up ping right at closing bell, just edging out 51-ish points. Well, 52-ish points on the NASDAQ. S&P pretty much did the same thing, as you could see. Had that fall off. We had a melt up actually in the pre-markets and then slowly went down. Okay. The Dow now is giving back some of its gains, as last week it kept making daily all-time new highs. So now, as we look at the Qs, because that's where a lot of our tech lives, we could see this dotted line is pre-market high, this dotted line is pre-market low, and this is what I call morning magnet. It tends to rest here. So of course, we made money today. We made money. You could have done puts on the Qs or calls right in this range. And that's what we did. The traffic trader led us right to it. Reversal, red light, we went down. Green light, we went up. Okay, but now that's the 5-minute. We trade on a faster time frame because we're doing 0 DTE, but the Qs was range bound. That's the point. Okay, as we can see, so was the NASDAQ, right? So pick your story, guys. There's a lot of things going on. The president did not like the deal that the Iranians were putting on the table. The Iranians didn't like the deal the U.S. is putting on the table. The Iranian says, we will not be punked by you. You know, we will not be bullied. All right. So let's just look at some of the stories. I'm just telling you what's going on. OK, so Trump says he's not sure he wants Iran deal as Hormuz Straits. Look at that. Strife deepens. OK, deepens. Trump says ceasefire with Iran is over as NATO summit wraps. Let's go into a story here. Well, we'll talk about the Fed in a minute. Let's just go back to one of these. So this morning, he said, as far as he is over, talking about the president, as far as he's concerned, the ceasefire deal is over. As I'm just getting something in on the phone, U.S. launched new strikes on Iran after Trump declares ceasefire over. That just came out 5 minutes ago. American military forces launched new strikes on Iran Wednesday, that's today night now, according to the U.S. Central Command, hours after President Trump announced the end of an 8-week ceasefire. So things are back to worse on this geopolitical situation, the war with Iran and the Straits of Hormuz and all of that. The stock market actually shrugged that off. In the pre-markets, it was down based on the initial announcement by the president, and then it drifted up. So in money moves, I literally said before the drift up that I think that the market will drift up today, and it did. I'm going to show you some plays that we made a little money on. I did. Okay, so let's go into the Fed policy. Hawkish Fed minutes indicates some support for rate increases. Rate increases would not be good for the stock market right now. Okay, and you have these talking heads One of them came on CNBC today and said he could lower interest rates. Sir, you are wrong. He cannot lower interest rates. He's a smart guy that said it. I just don't get it. How can he lower interest rates when inflation is out of control? Ticker symbol SOXL. Let's see. Do we have it here? Ticker symbol SOXL, right? So we had some wins with that, guys. Directional Daily Semiconductor Bull 3X ETF. We could see that right now. Again, remember, one tick up for the semiconductors, the ETF, 3 times as fast up. One tick down with this 3X, 3 times fast down. Okay. So here's what we were looking at on yesterday. And I made a move, a small move, but I'm going to show you why I did it. So I looked at this chart and I came back. And as you can see, we're coming back to days like this is May the 26th, right? And if you really zoom in, you could see that we had these wicks that came down, right? And you could see this wick over here and this wick over here. Actually, these wicks were kind of like the bottom of short-term buy range. I'm not using any moving averages right now. I'm just looking at the wicks. And you can see here, we wicked down here, we wicked here, we stopped here. Here we have full bodies that came back, and then we kind of wicked down here. So what I was trying to do is not catch the bottom, okay? What I was trying to do is buy in a range. Now, in this range, I told the money movers, here's where I was buying, pretty much under a 171. Remember, this is a 3X. So on big red days, I started accumulating down here. And then you guys saw on yesterday, this is the 4 hour, you saw on yesterday, it fell like a rock. Boom. Okay. Here we go, right here. Okay. And it just wicked down. And so what I did was I did a call right here at the bottom of this wick, right? I did a call. I didn't catch it right at the bottom. I wish I did. And I did here is where I literally just bought some shares and made a quick 1,200 bucks. I bought these last night because it's a swing trade for me. Sorry about the mistakes. It's a swing trade for me, right? And then I put a warning out for my money movers that this was an extremely risky play that I got in. And I did one share of the SOXL in the money when it came down. Okay, so it came down yesterday to 150.76, and that was enough for me to do the bottom call, right? So it was, I did that call to 155 since we were down to 150. And then at the end of the day, I got into the 160 calls in the morning. Now, as you can see, the expiration date is like a month out, the 7th of August, right? And so when I first got into the call, it did go red. It went red, guys. And I got scared and I got worried this morning when I woke up and I saw it was down. So what you have to do is not fear when it goes down like this. And so this morning I woke up and I saw that the president said the deal was off. I got scared and I'm going, this is not going to end good. So when I looked at it, boom, it went from here to here. So now the pre-market was down, but these options were going up. And by the time I cashed them out, I was right here. Boom. And the truth be told, had I stayed in them about 30 minutes longer, I would have made more money. Now, if you want to learn how to earn and how to do this and how to just think for yourself and not just follow me, then click the top link below and come join Money Moves, okay? And if not, I'm giving money making tips to the free community. There's a free newsletter that we put out data every morning. That's the free Money Moves, okay? But as far as my actual moves, that's in the paid community. That is the top link, Money Moves. All right, guys? And so The answer or the question is, a lot of you are in this leverage play, and a lot of you are in semiconductors, chips, and a lot of you are in ticker symbol, like ticker symbol MU, Micron. Let's pull that up. So as you can see here, Micron actually stayed bullish. Okay, Micron actually stayed bullish and wind up pulling out a win today. Was up much earlier. It was up earlier in the day, should I say, up a little more early in the day. But Micron at the close of yesterday was showing some bullish action, and we stayed in. And I want to say that be careful. I don't think we're at the bottom of the semiconductors. I think that you just keep piling into like ticker symbol SOXL. You may get burned. Remember, buy the dips, sell the rips. And I sold a ton of it yesterday. I alerted my money movers how much I sold, but I bought on yesterday. So I bought the stock, made $1,200. I did options, made another $3,000, and we bought down yesterday. And then we popped it this morning. When you get to leverage plays, you don't want to overstay. You're welcome. And finally, guys, look at this. SpaceX closed lower than it IPO'd for the first time. Closed at 148.26 instead of 150. Okay, so what? That's not a big deal, guys. But when the lock-up period is over and they start dumping the shares, we just may see a bigger sell-off. And I'll be looking for a good entry price for SpaceX for the long haul. I will not be swing trading SpaceX. I'm just going to be buying and accumulating. And I'm not going to put all my money in the first dip. I'm going to keep cash on the sidelines because I plan on giving my grandchildren some of this when some of y'all crazy folk are on the moon making data centers. I won't be taking that job. How about you? Leave me a comment. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn.